With the vast majority of these squads involved with their countries over the international break, some jet-setting to the other side of the world, it's difficult to predict how this one pans out. Either way, every time Arsenal and Chelsea meet, expect drama. Just one change to the Chelsea team that won handsomely in the semi-final of the Continental Cup before the break. Fran Kirby was forced off with a knee injury during that game and missed England duty. Jelena Cankovic comes in her place to start just her 4th game this season. Sam Kerr makes her 100th appearance for Chelsea. She's got 80 goals in her previous 99, including 4 in the last fixture against West Ham. The Arsenal team shows 3 changes from the WSL defeat to Manchester City. Laura Wienreuter replaces Noel Marriott at right back. Leah Valti returns to the midfield while Katie McCabe lines up against the club that attempted to lure her away with a last-minute bid at the end of the January transfer window. Lena Hurtig is missing with injury.
16, your captain, Magda Eriksson.
It's always a big game, especially for Emma Hayes, a former Arsenal coach. Won lots of trophies, including the FA Cup under Vic Akers. And a couple of players for you, Rachel Brown-Finnish, that you'd like to run the rule over before this one gets underway. Starting with Caitlin Ford for Arsenal.
She's been exceptional. She played down the left-hand side, left of forward for Arsenal a lot this season. Katie McCabe down that left-hand side, now in excellent goal-scoring form for her country in recent international games. And will we see Caitlin Ford, Steph Catley down that left-hand side up against the player I'd like to talk about next? Who else could it be other than Lauren James? Lauren James for Chelsea, for England, is unstoppable. I can see that matchup happening. Australia, host nation, but Lauren James has been in sensational form. A lot of that is down to the consistency of playing week in, week out for Chelsea, and that in itself has taken a period of time to get her physically robust enough. Individualised training programmes. She is arguably England's best player. Natural talent. I think it's beyond raw talent. She started to really hone those skills and make the game her own. The way that she plays is special and individual to her, and what a talent we have on our hands.
We're not getting too carried away, though, with her. Distinctly un-British, the coverage of Jo Lauren James. Abigail Byrne is the referee today, vastly experienced in the Women's Super League. But yes, usually we like to play down.
Don't count me in that, Robin. I am carried away with it. The whole England team itself, I'm still on a high after the summer. That will continue till next summer. This summer now.
Well, she seems to be holding it well, Lauren James. So it is the 5th round of the FA Cup. Usually these two meet a lot later on, but they were thrown together in the draw. So one of the big teams and one of the favourites you suspect will go out at a very early stage of the competition. Both teams take the knee, as they have done ahead of every domestic fixture this season. And Arsenal will get this FA Cup tie underway at Kingsmeadow. On current form, this should be a home win. But Arsenal perhaps have had some time to regroup, to refocus, to reflect on that. The devastating defeat to Manchester City last time out that has really put a blow to their title hopes. Jonas Edeval and the players, I'm sure, will be hoping for a quick response, and who better to respond to than the current holders of the FA Cup and the WSL title.
Chelsea looking to make it 3 in 3 years, current holders of the FA Cup. And you're right, Jonas Edeval, early break.
Into the penalty area with Marnham. And she's forced a good save from Ann-Katrin Berger early on here, inside the first minute.
Yeah, it's really easy for Arsenal to break through. Marnham, excellent run in between Sophie Ingle and Perisset down that left-hand side, and Millie Bright just can't get across quick enough to put any pressure on it. Those gaps, as Ann-Katrin Berger's gesturing there, were far too big.
Fast start from the visitors, and they take advantage. It's a deep cross in. Caitlin Ford, unchallenged, hooked it towards goal. Gunners trying to pin Chelsea in here. Cuthbert tries to calm things down, but she's given it away under pressure. Here's Caitlin Ford. Herself, Catley and Sam Kerr were in a different hemisphere just a couple of days ago, so very impressive there starting today.
Do you know what? It's something that they're used to. It's the furthest place away on the planet that they could be, really, to have to come back a few days later. But it's something that Sam Kerr, professional players, they just learn to deal with it. Similar but different. I lived in America for 5 years and flew back to play for England every month, and you just found a way of dealing with it. Whatever things to help you sleep, right nutrition, certainly hydration was a big part of recovering and being ready for it. It's just what they do.
There's Lauren James shielding the ball as she does away from Balti. Finds Perisset. To Lauren James, player of the tournament at the Arnold Clark Cup, which England retained, scored her first international goal as well. First game against Korea Republic. Reuter trying to steal a few yards. Has marched back. Wrighton sends it forward. Kerr finds herself unopposed. Foul from McCabe on Niamh Charles.
There's a necessary one there from McCabe. Down this left-hand side in a tight area, Niamh Charles. McCabe just dangles a leg in, and Niamh Charles, the momentum she had. But this gives an opportunity for Erin Cuthbert or Guru Wrighton from this favoured left-hand side to whip the ball in.
Cuthbert sends it across to Cankovic. That's a decent-looking ball, and it's flicked towards goal by Eriksson, but off target. Chance for both sides now.
I'm sure the target was Sam Kerr. It was about to land on Sam Kerr's head, actually, but Eriksson had made an excellent run. See here, decided to play it short. Lovely ball in from Jankovic, but you see Sam Kerr's right under the ball. Obviously doesn't make the call to Eriksson. Eriksson wouldn't have seen her. Eyes on the ball only, Eriksson. Those little mistakes, like giving away a free kick, Jonas Eidevall will want to ensure that his team doesn't fall foul of those, because Chelsea are one of the best.
Concession of a corner, which Arsenal weren't expecting.
Another clumsy error. Guru Wrighton's going to whip this right on Zinsberger in the Arsenal goal.
Didn't quite get enough on it, but she might get another chance here. Cleared by Marnham. Here is Guru Wrighton to Lauren James. Cankovic. It's easily defended by Blackstenius, but Cuthbert tries to keep it going. It's going to be claimed by Zinsberger.
I thought Cuthbert was going to whip that one. Seemed to have a little bit of space as the ball bounced just in front of it. It seemed to sit up nicely. Zinsberger will be glad that she didn't take the opportunity.
Chelsea unbeaten in their last 4 in all competitions against Arsenal. They knocked them out of the competition in the semi-finals last season of the FA Cup. It was 1-1 at the Emirates this season, and they meet on the penultimate weekend of the WSL.
A lot of football for both teams to be played before then, as it stands, before the end of today. In all 4 competitions, both of them. Not that any manager's complaining. Here they are.
There were a few grumbles, weren't there, from Jonas Eidevall, particularly the scheduling of the games. Here is James onto Kerr, tried to pull it back. Kim Little nearly lost the ball. It is cleared. Arsenal under pressure.
Certainly Chelsea are looking more dangerous, and down that right-hand side where we expected with Lauren James, just pokes it through there for Sam Kerr, squares it back, it nearly squeezed through the legs of Kim Little, who's sitting in doing a defensive role as she can do and does do and is required to do. But certainly Ada Val's had the bigger headaches, hasn't he, this season, losing Beth Mead, losing Vivian Miedemar, and that dip in form after Christmas.
Both have been handed very, very difficult Champions League draws. Bayern Munich for Arsenal, Lyon for Chelsea. James Chankovic, that's a lovely delicate touch towards Cuthbert. Kim Little with the sliding challenge. Here's Wrighton. Cuthbert back to goal, finds Ingle. And now Charles. Wrighton, defended this time by Williamson. That's good play from Marnham, although she just ran into a few too many blue shirts.
Excellent swarming from Chelsea. Erin Cuthbert, Jankovic and Ingle all swarmed her, dispossessed her. Chelsea impressing their authority on this game now, squeezing Arsenal.
Jankovic popping up in a good space, well, but away by Raffaelli. The flag is up over on the far side.
A little bit of respite for Arsenal. This last 3 or 4 minutes, Chelsea have really dominated and got through the back line of Arsenal. Good covering there from Kim Little. Seen her and Valti do that kind of holding role when out of possession, do it very, very well. And Arsenal be thankful it came to nothing.
Some very good approach play from Chelsea. Niamh Charles playing at left back again, getting some minutes for England at the Arnold Clark Cup. And with all the headlines and the coverage around Lauren James, Niamh Charles, her versatility, like Rachel Daly, who contributed so much last summer, Niamh Charles could be a very important player for country as well as club.
Yeah, we saw Leah Williamson going into midfield, and Jess Carter, we know, is versatile across the back line.
But picks out Wrighton, bit of space. Untimely slip from James, and Caitlin Ford just nips in ahead of Perisset. Apart from that early opportunity for Marnham, it's been all Chelsea. Imperious form at home. Currently on a 34-game unbeaten run at Kingsmeadow and a couple of matches at Stamford Bridge. The last time they lost at home was to Hope Powell's Brighton 2 years ago.
Not just because she's here that you mentioned that, but that is some run of form, isn't it? What a performance that was. A stalwart performance from Hope Powell's team to break that run.
Well, that's lovely feet from McCabe. Thought she'd lost it for a millisecond, but she's got control of it and finds Steph Catley. Lovely interplay. A challenge from Lauren James. Has been given as a foul after a bit of thinking time.
Well, I think give the referee a due. She wanted to see if it could lead to an advantage for Arsenal. Not too many occasions they've been in the attacking third. So I don't see too much wrong with the tackle from Lauren James, other than she didn't get the ball and went through the back of the player.
Apart from that, it was fine, wasn't it?
No, the referee was trying to play an advantage. It came to nothing, and rightly blew it. This is where their specialist set piece coach that's just been employed.
It's causing a bit of confusion. It's cleared out towards the near side, be picked up by McCabe. Valti, sit back in, away by Millie Bright. Unusual thing now to have a specialist set-piece coach in top-level teams. They can be so important. And Actually, it was the last goal they scored in the WSL, which got them back in the game against Man City. Good header from Raffaelli. Catley is going to fall here for McCabe. Sam Kerr in the nick of time, just as McCabe was about to pull the trigger. Here is McCabe again, away by Eriksson. This is a good spell from Arsenal. Trying to keep the hammer down.
It's the levels that Chelsea expect. You know, if your main player, number 9, is back defending, last-ditch defending, you expect that from absolutely everyone, and you know that ripples through the team.
Here's Raffaelli. Brazil. Shibali's Cup on the international break. Caitlin Ford will get there, and it nearly trickled in off Blackstenius. A last gasp clearance off the line from Niamh Charles, retreating in the right place at the right time to deny Arsenal.
Well, at first glance, it looked a bit like a lack of communication between Ann-Katrin Berger and Niamh Charles, because Katrin Berger goes down as if to receive the ball, but then it goes through her, and Niamh Charles, I think, makes the interception so that it is cut out and away from danger, but there's a lapse of concentration or not being fully committed. Ann-Katrin Berger. You've seen that Musovic played in the WSL games before the international break, and Berger back in for this one.
It might have even come off Magdalena Eriksson. Moment of worry for Chelsea. Another corner kick for Arsenal. Steph Catley over this one. Goes long towards Ford. Combination of Ingle and Kerr managed to get it away, but another corner kick.
There's a combination there. Steph Catley, Caitlin Ford, cleared by Sam Kerr. Another opportunity for Arsenal, who, going into this game, can't argue anything other than being underdogs in this fixture. Desperate to make the most of these set-piece opportunities.
Frida Marnham, Arsenal opting for the outswinger on both sides. It's a decent one. Caitlin Ford got something on it. Forward by Valti, Raffaelli. Eventually, Chelsea get it clear. Lauren James will try and put Wienreuter under pressure.
Good covering from Wienreuter there. Seen on the corners, Frida Marnham's pinning Katrin Berger, and Katrin Berger. See again this mistake here. I'd own that as a mistake if I was the goalkeeper, and it was Eriksson that got a touch on it, and eventually cleared by Niamh Charles.
Does that look like a lack of communication?
Yeah,
then?
miscommunication, yeah. And Katrin Berger's got to do everything to clear out a defender, call her off. You know, the defender's job, once she hears the call off, is to shield the goalkeeper, protect the goalkeeper from the onrushing player.
Manchester United already through to the quarter-finals. A big win against Durham in the earlier kick-off. The lowest-ranked team in the competition are 1-0 down. Cardiff City losing to Lewis of the Championship.
Yeah, I'm sure when these two teams, Arsenal, Chelsea, were drawn together, I'm sure to the huge cheers of lots of other teams in the draw, that one of these teams will be out of the competition.
It's a great ball to find Wrighton. Finds herself in a lot of space. Lauren James in even more space. Maybe too much time. Trying to pick her spot, it's deflected, and it's a corner kick.
Is there a thing as too much time? So, open question. It's a great ball, isn't it, from the back line into Guru Ryan, takes it beautifully, and she's got all the time in the world to pick out her player. Lauren James was the best option, completely unmarked. Could she have hit it first time? Just stayed off it a bit, judged the bounce, gave the opportunity after having that touch for a couple of Arsenal defenders to get tight on her and put out the danger.
Ingle tries to head it back into the 6-yard area. Cleared by McCabe. Jankovic has shown some lovely touches.
Yeah, she's been really effective, hasn't she, in that number 10 role, central, with Frank Kirby being unavailable, Jessie Fleming on the bench.
Another great ball from the back. Just a little bit too much on that one for Jankovic.
The intention was excellent, wasn't it, from Millie Bright? We've seen from both centre-halves of the teams, Leah Williamson's played some awesome balls from centre-half position. You see in the stands there, Pernille Harder, Chelsea are definitely missing her, how desperate they would be to get her back with big Champions League games. She's been there, done it. And you know, the experience of both of those players, hopefully Chelsea fans will see them soon.
Clearly assessing her options. Back to Zinsberger. Had the game of her life against City, but still came off the losing side. All Bright's header to Blackstenius. What a chance! What a miss!
Wow, that is a golden opportunity. Great ball through. It should never have got through. Blackstenius does so well to hold off Eriksson, so strong to be able to get goal side. You know, Eriksson's been in this game for such a long time, this league. To shoulder her off, you don't see too often. I mean, it's route one, isn't it? Marn and flick on, Blackstenius running in behind. That's the opportunity of the game for either team.
Blackstenius scored the winner in the semi-final of the Continental Cup against Manchester City, but she has struggled in front of goal since Beth Mead and Vivian Miedemar's injury. Not quite keep hold of the ball there. Some hope, though, for Arsenal. That was a clear-cut opportunity.
She's certainly not as natural a goal scorer as Miedemar and Beth Mead, absolutely. I mean, they're two of the best examples in the world of natural goal scorers coming in off the right. Certainly Miedemar in the 6-yard box, in the penalty area, should I say. Absolute guarantee a goal. She has work rate, she's got... Arsenal have the ability to go long because of how she plays, Blackstenius, but still finding that real poise in front of goal.
Error from Raffaelli. Brighton couldn't quite measure the pass for Sam Kerr. A little bit too much weight on that one. She would have been in.
Kate McCabe's not been in the game at all. We often see her down the left as a attacking wing-back or forward player. She's playing on the right, but she's coming inside a lot, really central, and, you know, of course you want to condense that and make sure Chelsea can't play through. I'm not seeing her in an attacking sense.
Berger taking a chance, but Perisset left forward on the deck, and Chelsea have a 3-on-3. Kerr can't keep hold of it. Jankovic keeps it going. Lauren James starts one of her glides into Ingle. 1-0 Chelsea. Sophie Ingle with the composure of a regular goal scorer. And the FA Cup holders have the lead.
Well, it's 30 seconds earlier. Arsenal could have been 1-0 up. And there it is. If you don't take your chances, Chelsea will do this to you. It's one of what is becoming a trademark runs from Lauren James, as you said. The Lauren James glide across the pitch as if there are mannequins or cones in front of her, not moving bodies, trying to attack her. And she just creates that space to be able to lay it off beautifully. The weight of ball to Sophie Ingle, who unmarked with a little bit of time, nice tight touch, takes it onto her left foot. If I was in goal and Zinsberger, she'd be disappointed with that. Top-class international goalkeeper. She gets a good hand on it. A hand position on the ball doesn't enable a full palm on it and can't turn it around the post. She goes a little bit low and underneath and just deflects and tips over her hand. She'll be disappointed with that, but Chelsea with that killer blow.
And that's what they possess in abundance. Still pass up their biggest chance. Sophie Ingle's wasn't as big as that one, but she took it. Katie McCabe into Marnham. And now Catley. I think that was an attempt at a cross, which didn't quite come off.
Bethany cropped. Didn't quite come off. Jonas Edeval and Arsenal, as much as that was a brilliant finish from Sophie Ingle, she makes it look so easy. But it's this run inside, isn't it? Takes defenders with her. They don't know whether to go and press her or whether to hold off. It opens up the space for Sophie Ingle. Lauren James recognises that. And what an accomplished finish that was from Sophie Ingle.
Signed a new contract until 2025, Sophie Ingle. It's been such a mainstay in this Chelsea team. Important player for Emma Hayes. Kerr finding Wrighton. And flick on straight to Kim Little. Well, I think Chelsea just haven't allowed to be in the game.
Yeah, she's not. I mean, her job is to screen with Leah Volti. It seems she's more in a more defensive role today. Marnham higher up, and with Katie McCabe and Ford coming a little bit narrower. That's kind of condensed that midfield and not let Chelsea play through the centre. We've got Guru Wrighton on the left and Lauren James on the right. It's in some ways playing into their hands. Right about Sophie Ingle, she'll be a player who's looking, you know, beyond this World Cup at the Olympics as well, and was in the Olympic squad last time around. But one who goes under the radar, I think, a little bit, but certainly not Emma Hayes' radar.
McCabe with a late challenge on Ingle. The referee has taken a mental note of that. Katie McCabe, no stranger to those sorts of actions, especially in a London derby.
Looking forward to them and her going to the World Cup this summer.
Yeah, I'm sure ruffle a few feathers down under. The only game she has missed in the last couple of seasons, Katie McCabe, have been because she's been suspended. Again, another really important player for Arsenal, either from the start or off the bench. And as mentioned earlier on, cheeky bid from Chelsea late on the January transfer window. It's another error given away by Wienreuter. Cankovic to Kerr. And Raffaelli does well to prevent another Chelsea goal.
So Arsenal in possession, like with Kim Little and Lee Williamson and Raffaella beforehand, not seeing bodies move in front of them. Arsenal in possession at the back. If you're playing a short possession game from out of the back, you have to have movement in front of you. Otherwise, the likes of Guru Wrighton and Lauren James, Cankovic, are all going to be looking at pressing.
I'm sure they would have seen the damage that Manchester City's front three did. Those situations. Wright sends it forward. Oh, it's an awkward one for Raffaelli. Little forced to make a hurried clearance. Marnham finds Catley. Now Valti. Wienreuter making her way up the flank. Here's Katie McCabe, pursued by Niamh Charles. Very much enjoying the physical battle there.
It's a good little contest, isn't it, between those two? Katie McCabe does drift out. Niamh Charles got dragged in. She did the right thing to go and press the ball, not allow Katie McCabe to turn gain possession. Certainly irritate Katie McCabe. See there, she was anticipating the contact and earns her team a free kick.
Don't mind a bit of that. For Arsenal. Chelsea with the lead thanks to Sophie Ingle. Third of the season, 2 in the Champions League, now 1 in the FA Cup. With the run by Caitlin Ford, corner for Arsenal.
It's going to be another Steph Catley corner. When Arsenal have looked dangerous, it tends to be down that left-hand side. Catley up against Perisset. Yeah, and again, Frida Marnham's going to try and pin Ann-Katrin Berger, who is excellent at commanding her box, and probably the reason why she has got that role.
Catley with the outswinger once again. Berger came a long way, back in by McCabe. And Sam Kerr with a practice swing. She's saying she didn't actually hit it now, and it should be a goal kick. Let's have a look.
Well, if she purposely swung and missed, then I'm very impressed with her acting skills. See there? The corner is given. We will have VAR in the World Cup.
That always makes things slightly muddier.
It wouldn't have been used for that, right?
Wouldn't have been used for a corner, thankfully. Imagine. I'd be there all day.
Catley in swinger.
Well defended by skipper Eriksson. Little. Williamson has stayed up there. Challenge is bright. An easy take for Berger.
And she's the target one, Shalia Williamson. From Kim Little, diagonal ball.
Manchester City 2-0 up at Championship promotion chasing, we should say. Bristol City. So no upsets as of yet. Night is still young. Again, just an illustration there of just how difficult it is to get the ball off Lauren James when she's in full flight. Charles. Brighton, first time onto Charles. In behind the defence, made by Williamson. Caitlin Ford manages to spin away from the challenge of James. Plays in Blackstenius. Not too much in the way of support at the moment. Balls back to Ford, and Chelsea back in good number now.
Chelsea in possession looks so well synchronised, and just like that movement of Niamh Charles with Gura Wright and an example, Arsenal less so. More disjointed in the build-up.
Williamson tried the ball around the corner with Blackstenius. Will try and get something going here.
Almost a fortuitous corner there. Came off Wrighton. Did it into the back of her and off. Didn't seem to be any coordinated movement. I heard from the bench shouting Blackstenius to come over and get closer. As if they've been working on defending because of poor performances, not really worked on attacking plays.
Nice delivery again. Chelsea doing a really good job of defending these set pieces. Arsenal have had quite a few now. Thurley's header. And controlled by Marnham, the arm. See what's coming up on the BBC. More FA Cup live football for you. Fulham against Leeds on Tuesday, 7:30 we start on BBC One. And then Super Sunday comes to the BBC next week. WSL, Manchester United against Leicester, 12:15 on BBC Two. And then these two meet again in the Continental Cup final. Arsenal against Chelsea on Sunday, live from Selhurst Park. 2:30 we start on BBC One.
Forward to that one next week, even more sort of stinging it after one team will knock the other out from today. The chance of silverware slightened for one of these two teams, powerhouses of women's football.
No trophy for Arsenal since 2019. And they won the title under Joe Montemuro. And for a club of Arsenal stature, not good enough, really. Chelsea, though, have just dominated domestic honours. Blackstenius looks in a bit of discomfort here.
Lee Charles has headed her in the back of the head. Both should be fine, as in they were both... It just looked quite painful rather than being any after effects. Part of the main reason for Chelsea's success over a sustained period of time is this woman here, Emma Hayes, has been outstanding in pioneering the progression of women's football. And when I say that, I mean on the pitch, and very much so off the pitch. You tell me a story about Melanie Leupolz.
Yeah, it was really good to hear that. Good interview with Melanie Leupolz, who's just returned after giving birth, and the lengths that Chelsea went to support her, including hiring a very own pelvic floor specialist, and we both know how important that is during pregnancy and afterwards, and just shows that really taking these things seriously, as they should be. And hopefully hearing that sort of support will filter through and filter down across the women's game.
She's been very hot on topics people haven't talked about before: menstrual cycle, her own personal experiences of what she's been through. But pioneering these changes, you know, not accepting that, oh, it's just a time of the month when you're more likely to get injured. Okay, well, let's look into how we can prevent these things. And so, yeah, she's constantly pushing the game forwards.
No coincidence that's coincided with Chelsea's success as well.
Absolutely. Always questioning the norms, the things we get used to, questioning, should they be pushed to another level?
As for Arsenal, their investment in their women's team was in evidence. They released their accounts for last season and the wage bill had doubled. And just shows that they are being backed. Of course, that comes with its other issues perhaps down the line and for the competitiveness of the league, but you know, just shows that Arsenal hoping their women's team, pushing them and backing them financially at least for success.
Yeah, and those players that you are backing, they're looking after. They need the best of the support around. Just as we were highlighting as to how Emma Hayes had implemented that, there was certainly far more backroom staff than players. That's because then they can give the very, very best support to the players. Mental, physical, tactical capacity. Every element where you can get a 1% gain or more. The best players have the best resources. That's not just finances.
Vivian Miedemar progressing well from her ACL injury. He's accepted she won't make the World Cup. Beth Mead is still crossing her fingers. So are we, of course.
Yeah, I like that mentality from Beth Mead. Not accepting that she's out. She's seen what Chloe Kelly did, Manchester City. ACL, borderline going to make it from a timescale point of view. I'll tell you what, if you don't have the lure of a World Cup and you accept that it's gone, the rehab is a lot harder.
Ingle finds Charles. Chelsea on the move again. Charles finds Kerr. Difficult one to control. Didn't want to attempt a header at goal from that far out. Here's Caitlin Ford looking for options. And she's found Blackstenius. She's through here. Angle's a bit tight. She's got Marnham up ahead. It's Marnham! Another chance. Passed up.
Wow, that was close, wasn't it? You could see the option was on. A lovely ball through one. Caitlin Ford looks up. She sees that Blackstenius had got away, peeled off that left-hand side, and it exposes centrally. No player can get back. Oh, and it's just a toenail away, isn't it, from Marnham? Just a bit too much weight on the ball. Marnham slides a tall frame, just cannot get on the end of it. But again, exposes that forward-thinking play from Chelsea.
Just a few vulnerabilities coming to the fore now for Chelsea, but just lacking that ruthless edge.
Emma Hayes will be telling her team, you know, they are lucky to not have conceded. The miscommunication around catching Berger, two golden opportunities, one from Blackstenius, one from Frida Marnham. Three chances that they haven't been able to capitalise on.
Catley, okay, manages to dig it out from the byline, away by Bright.
Arsenal had that chance, didn't they, in the opening minutes to produce an excellent save from Berger.
Bright with a drop of the shoulder to Cuthbert, picked up by Kerr. Gifted possession back to Chelsea there, but for Williamson's intervention, Kerr would have been in.
She read the play excellently there, Leah Williamson. You could see she was drifting across. Saw Guru right and felt Sam Kerr drifting off her back shoulder. Exceptional reading of the game from Leah Williamson.
To the final 5 minutes of the first half. Arsenal trying to finish strongly. They created a couple of good opportunities. Here is Marnham. Heavy touch, out of play, goal kick, and here's Frida Marnham. She says had a couple of good opportunities. It looked like she'd got there.
Yeah, it was just the weight of the ball from Blackstenius. There's just too much on it. And you see here, plays it and it skips up off the turf and gets away from Marnham. Really, it could have been easier to finish if she just slid it along the floor. I think Marnham would have finished it. Beth Mead, I'm sure, would have been saying she'd have finished that. Provide a roar on the end of it. Beth Mead's deadly, isn't she?
See, that looked like a painful moment for Beth Mead. living it from the stands.
Oh, it's awful. I've been out with an ACL and sat on the sidelines watching your team, you know, absolutely desperate to get on there, but knowing you're months away from it. Tell you what, it does build resilience.
Error by Balti. Sam Kerr. And a brilliant save from Zinsberger to deny Cankovic. Chelsea this time not taking advantage of a gilt-edged opportunity.
Big let-off. Good reactions from Zinsberger.
Chelsea look a bit exposed here. Oh, Caitlin Ford spinning away. Niamh Charles had a hold of her shirt. Play goes on. It's McCabe away by Berger and over the top from Caitlin Ford. Nodded away by Eriksson. Frantic end to this first half. Catley trying to keep things going. Play is stopped because Ann-Katrin Berger is down. But I'll tell you what, Niamh Charles, we're going to have to see what happens to her because she really took a chance there.
She's holding a hamstring, Ann-Katrin Berger. Whether if it's a collision, that's probably better. If she's pulled it, yeah, but you're right. Niamh Charles pulling back Catley there. Oh, sorry, Ford. She should be awarded a yellow card, absolutely, even though the referee let play go. What a save from Ann-Katrin Berger. The initial mistake from her when it fell to McCabe. She's the more natural of the goal scorers for me out of Marn and Blackstenius. The other two to have had their chances, and they just couldn't put it in the back of the net. This one, what a let-off. Leah Balti giving away possession. Just couldn't quite get it out of her feet, could she? Cankovic produced an athletic save from Blackstenius, from Zinsberger in the Arsenal goal. And I think it was that second save from Berger. She gets clattered into by Ford. Goalkeepers are brave, crazy, daft, whatever you want to call them, but that was a big save.
So this shirt pull now borderline yellow, could even have been a red card had Caitlin Ford made more of it. Perhaps Magdalena Eriksson covering may have saved her.
Yeah, yellow for me, but here mistake from Berger. See how she reacts to it excellently well. You do in goalkeeper training, we do that all the time. First save, but what about the second save? Getting up really quickly to do that. Berger, she knows she's fumbled what could have been a relatively easy catch and collection. Gets straight back up and makes that brave save. Both goalkeepers called upon on numerous occasions, end to end in this last few minutes.
This has been more reminiscent of the game at the Emirates, where Arsenal created a bucket load of chances and ended up drawing 1-1 with Chelsea. Should mention, if it is a draw, 90 minutes, we do go to extra time and penalties if required. This is the FA Cup. The time will be finished today.
It was Lena Hurtig who missed a couple in that game at the Emirates, and that was when you felt Arsenal were starting to miss the presence of Miedemar and Beth Mead.
Ford gets there just ahead of Charles.
It's Charles again, isn't it?
She wasn't booked for the previous one. She's going to be booked now, and do you know what? She's lucky, because that should be two. I think she just got fortunate because the referee must have just forgot, but she played the advantage. It happens, it happens. Yellow card for Niamh Charles.
Absolutely, I mean, that could have been 2 yellows in a couple of minutes for Niamh Charles. First one for a pullback on Ford that wasn't given. This one, another pullback, I think. Initially the contact, Niamh Charles on Ford. Sorry, that was that one, wasn't it? That it was the tackle for the second one on Ford, and she spins away again from her. Late chance for Arsenal.
Into stoppage time. Marnham floats it in. Wright's there first, and Cuthbert makes good distance on the clearance. Cankovic closes down Wienreuther.
Towering header from Millie Bright there, excellent. It's going to be on the head of Leah Williamson, just crept in behind her. She's flawless, isn't she, Millie Bright? This is what Jonas Eidevall will be wanting more of, is more movement in front. Talks about it earlier. I like how they've split a bit wider, Leah Williamson and Rafaela. But again, too easy for Chelsea to pinch possession from them, and there's no movement in front. Rafaela's looking forward to playing at Wembley in April.
First finalissima between the between Brazil and England. Should be a great game, really good game for England and Brazil to warm up to the World Cup, and then also facing Australia in April.
Sold out, isn't it? Finalissima. I'm trying to get tickets to take my kids.
That's a plea, everyone.
Official plea. Well, it's been an exciting first half, hasn't it? Both teams had numerous chances, showing their defensive vulnerabilities. Niamh Charles could have had 2 yellow cards, could have been off. How much will Eidevall be in the ear of Abigail Byrne, the referee, about that incident?
I'm sure she's braced. Caitlin Ford prevented from getting the ball down the line by Charles. Reuter cheats her work away from Bean Reuter. Win a corner, but no time to take it. Entertaining game in this 5th round of the FA Cup. But at the moment, Chelsea on course to make the quarter-finals thanks to a strike from Sophie Ingle. Arsenal have had a good few chances themselves. Blackstenius and Marnham have passed them up. So still very much in this tie, Arsenal. Not sure you can ask for too much more, perhaps, Rachel, just maybe a little bit more concentration, perhaps.
Well, a little bit more poise in front of goal. You know, when when Caitlin Ford came down this right-hand side up against Niamh Charles, she knows she's got the beating of her pace-wise, and Niamh Charles knows that too. That's when they look their most threatening. They've had chances, Arsenal, as you mentioned. They just have to have that sense of calm and composure in front of goal. Chelsea are always going to create chances. They are dangerous. But Arsenal have done a reasonable job in limiting them so far.
Still anyone's tie, this one. Half-time at Kingsmeadow. It's the FA Cup holders who lead by 1-0. Sounds like she's having a lovely time in her retirement. Well deserved.
Very decorated, Gilly Flaherty. I think she scored the first ever goal in the WSL.
That's what, assisted by Kim Little.
Well done, Gilly, and enjoy that retirement.
So Arsenal, the record 14 times winners of the FA Cup, could be going out at early stage. This is the 5th round. Ford. Cabe. Not quite getting on the end of that one.
Just like they did in the first half in the opening minute. They had a shot on goal, didn't they? That was just a bit wide, just that ball drifted too long. Caitlin Ford starting on this left-hand side, and right forward just drives long for beyond Katie McCabe. Jonas Eidevall will be looking for Caitlin Ford to start the first half like she finished the second, just giving that girl a torrid time. Could easily have had 2 yellow cards in that opening 45 minutes, and different story for this game.
Arsenal trying to apply the high press, but Chelsea work their way out. Millie Bright. Jankovic couldn't quite take it in her stride, but it's picked up by Kerr. Chelsea flooding forward with Niamh Charles, now Reuter. Chelsea haven't lost an FA Cup tie since a semi-final defeat to Everton in 2020. That's 11 games without a loss in this competition. Raffaelli. Play by Cuthbert.
Arsenal have put an excellent test up against Chelsea so far. This first half was really entertaining, ended up being quite open at times. Arsenal's back line being a little bit deep, giving opportunity for like Lauren James and Chankovic to gain possession in front of goal. Chelsea's back line being played in behind because they're a lot higher.
Marden onto McCabe. Here's Blackstenius. Flag has gone up. I think it was the Swedish international Stina Blackstenius who was offside. McCabe didn't want to take the shot on. She was being closed down fairly quickly.
Initially didn't want too much in it from the offside decision, but it is the right decision. Katie McCabe trying to loop it through. There's an offside position where the ball was played in the direction of her, even though it got a deflection. Still offside, but good covering, sliding tackle from Eriksson.
Little taking it off the toes of Wrighton.
Raffaelli's been an exciting player to have in the Women's Super League. Brazilians not too few and far between in the Women's Super League. It'd be wonderful for her teammates to be welcome to Wembley in April for that big game.
I think everyone is looking forward to seeing Marta. Perhaps what shade of lipstick she'll be wearing. It's really, and just still, what an incredible player. Back after a pretty serious knee injury, the She Believes Cup still going. Just an incredible icon of the game.
Yeah, and she's done a lot for the Brazilian national women's team and pushing for better standards, as well as making sure everyone knows about the plight of domestic football in Brazil.
Cuthbert, challenged by McCabe, robust but fair. Williamson. Marnham seems to be picking up quite a lot of space between the lines, allowed to turn once again. Ford has Catley in support on the overlap. Ford doesn't use her, manages to win it back after a heavy touch. Here's Valti. Now Williamson. Easily defended by Bright.
Look better in possession, don't they? Finding those gaps through to like Marnham. Valti getting just beyond Chankovic. Makes it more effective when that ball's played through. She's put through 2 or 3 players with one pass. That's one thing that Jonas Eidevall will have demanded of his team, better movement in front.
McCabe. Well read, cut out by Sophie Ingle. Brighton down the line for Sam Kerr. Interception by Williamson. Suspicion of offside, but Williamson had to cut that one out.
It's a little head-to-head that may well happen in the World Cup, all being fit and well with players. Leah Williamson up against Sam Kerr. Having the best players in the world here in the WSL just brings some advantages. You know their games more, they're more familiar to players.
Katrin Berger did quite well with that. Don't think, yeah, an apology from Millie Bright. She wasn't expecting that one. Sends it forward towards Kim Little. She's won that. Nearly found McCabe. Charles clears up. Retrieved by Wienreuter. Catley well challenged by James. And she has room to manoeuvre. Good challenge.
defending from Balti. All brought down when Raffaele had possession of the ball and didn't play it through to Marnham. Marnham had found another of those runs between the midfield and the defensive lines of Chelsea. The ball was on, but she was then dispossessed, and Chelsea and Lauren James were quick on the break.
Take from Ford. Good out of play by Sophie Ingle. And Lauren James, this is where she is so dangerous, but almost for the first time in this game she has been stopped.
Yeah, Balti reads that excellently well, doesn't she? Just almost stands square on and says you can't run through me. This was the one where it was suspicion of offside for Sam Kerr. Again, Williams are reading it really well.
Arsenal haven't won the FA Cup since 2016, where they beat Chelsea at Wembley. Memorable goal from Danielle Carter. Ford. Lovely turn away from James. Marnham manages to work it to Catley. Blackstones couldn't quite get across Eriksson. Arsenal finding space a little bit further up the pitch. Ford curls it towards goal. Much better from Arsenal. They're playing closer together. You can see playing in triangles. There was so many times the ball was played forwards and isolated. Either Caitlin Ford or Blackstenius were isolated in the first half. Much better movement from the midfield to get on the ball. Kim Little's playing a more advanced role as well. Leah Balti on her own, sitting in to deal with Cankovic. Lovely skill. Rolls the ball over to get away from Balti. Sam Kerr won't quite get there. Just the freedom of expression that Hope Powell was talking about pre-match that James has been afforded.
Yeah, her trickery, her skill set, her deception, being able to do all that at full speed, you know, when you're sprinting as fast as you can with the ball. It's Lauren James.
James wins it back. There's a good ball to Cankovic. Here's Sam Kerr. Never in doubt. She's barely had a sniff at goal. She is deadly, and she has put Chelsea 2 goals up here, and marks her 100th appearance for Chelsea the only way she knows how, with yet another goal.
And that's the difference, isn't it? Chelsea have an out-and-out goal scorer, one who's confident, who just needs that one touch, who has the poise and the presence and the calmness in that 6-yard area where you've got a second to think, to compose yourself. She sees the goalkeeper going down, she lifts it over. As you said, Robin, it was never in doubt when Sam Kerr was on the end of a beautifully weighted ball. There was only going to be one outcome, the inevitability of a 2-goal lead for Chelsea.
I think the aspect of that will please Emma Hayes perhaps the most is Lauren James winning it back high up, playing the easy ball, and then from then on it was just simple. Cankovic slipping it through for Kerr. Now Arsenal really have it all to do. Chelsea have shown a few weaknesses. They've given up a few chances, but she said it quite a few times, Emma Hayes, about her side, mentality monsters. That is why they've been so successful, especially in domestic competition.
Yeah, but you look at Champions League, and she'll have reminded them, you know, will remind them after this game, you give Lyon, who they've got next to the Champions League, opportunities like Arsenal had, and they would have taken every single one of those. So as much as they got away with it in the first half, she will demand much higher, much tighter spaces between Millie Bright and Eriksson. Just better all-round quality and acknowledgement of where the game's at.
Again, all of this just adds a little bit of extra spice to next weekend. They meet again in the Continental Cup final. See if familiarity breeds contempt. I think in some cases it might do. When you play each other this many times in quick succession, it must be quite difficult actually for the managers to produce something surprising, although perhaps they feel like they don't need to.
Well, I think the availability of players won't change much between, you know, this game and the next. If it does, then, you know, that can be kind of like your wild card or your ace that the other opposition manager might not have prepared for. But other than that, it is what it is. It's these starting 11 against, you know, each other again next week. I remember the rivalry of Everton and Arsenal when I was playing back in the day when we beat them in the 2010 FA Cup final. You know, we were the week to week, every time you played them in every single competition, it seemed. Arsenal were the dominant force, just edged it over the line, won the league on goal difference one year, and just had that ability, mentality monsters, as Emma Hayes says about Chelsea, to get over the line, whatever the situation. So at the moment, that's the edge that Chelsea have over Arsenal.
Čanković does well. Hold the ball and find Charles. That's Dinish trying to lead Arsenal further up the pitch. A delightful touch from Čanković, but Brighton can't keep it in.
Just shows you Čanković is probably what, third in the pecking order to start in that number 10 position behind Frank Kirby and then Jessie Fleming, who's played in that role. But she's an excellent game, very influential. And Sam Kerr, even more so. Girl with a golden touch. One chance, one shot, one goal.
It's 5 in 11 appearances against Arsenal now, Sam Kerr. So we'll get another opportunity next weekend. Ford onto Valti. Precision on the pass, not quite there. She hasn't been fit enough to start the last few games, and you can see heavy strapping on her right thigh, perhaps not 100%, that would suggest.
Yeah, I think he's they're dipping into the reserves. Mercedes and Arsenal. Both Miedemar and Mead injured within, you know, a relatively short spell of each other. Down that end of the pitch, they were reduced. Bolt is a key player in that midfield. Played alongside Kim Little for so long now. Really complements each other's games really well. A lot of strikers in there. Liverpool's number 9.
Well, Zinsberger down for some treatment. You know, Mead and Miedemar, their absence keeps getting brought up. I'm sure they're sick of hearing about it now, but when you lose 2 regular starters.
Well, for the whole season as well.
Yeah, not just for a few weeks.
The whole
Of course,
season.
it's going to affect you.
Absolutely, and Hurtig went away on camp, but quickly was sent home, not able to play in her national team's games at all. So came home, and so another kind of another player in that attacking role that was depleted, and both the national team of the Netherlands as well as Arsenal rue the loss of the mighty Miedemar.
Someone might maybe get her something better to lean her leg on there.
Yeah, well, I've just had knee surgery a few weeks ago, maybe not quite a ACL reconstruction, but it's not great, it's not fun, it's a little bit depressing, and certainly that elevation, keeping your leg up, however that may be, the back of a plastic chair or...
That's precious. It's probably worth quite a lot for Arsenal.
Yeah, definitely a lot more than mine. You're right. Yeah, you kind of, as a manager and as a setup and as a team, you've got to grieve the losses of those 2 players and quickly get over it, because you know they're out of the picture for the foreseeable. As I said, for this season, should definitely quickly get your mind on what you have got and what you can do and who you can use. You've got some of the biggest games of the campaign coming out, knockout games in the Champions League and League Cup final. Still looking to win the Women's Super League. Still for at least another half hour in this FA Cup as well.
Keep an eye on Zinsberger. Marquise on the bench, but Zinsberger's been such a consistent performer for Arsenal. Here's McCabe to Wienreuter. Good clean challenge from Niamh Charles. Right away from a challenge and plays in Guro Reiten. Big win for Manchester City in the FA Cup, beating Bristol City by 5 goals to 1. Donny Shaw hat-trick. Lewis leading Cardiff City by 2 goals to 1, so still a chance for the lowest ranked team to get back into that one. Good work from Ford once again, surging into the area. It's Caitlin Ford! And somehow Chelsea survive that. Flag is up. They just can't catch a break, Arsenal, just wouldn't bounce for them.
What a brilliant run from Caitlin Ford, terrorising the defender Perisset down this left-hand side. Cuts in to a point, and Berger's down because the ball actually ends up ricocheting off her own player and hitting her square in the face. See there, she spins Perisset, gets across her so she can't commit, otherwise it's a penalty. And the flag goes up for offside for Blackstenius. In the middle, you can see the havoc that she causes by that direct run, really clever run. Eventually goes off of Eriksen's foot into the face of Berger, and goalkeepers will save them however they need to save them.
I'm loath to say that the only thing missing from Caitlin Ford's game is goals, because she's got 7 this season, but just 1 in the Women's Super League. Seems like she's got absolutely everything, just needs that clinical touch, although we could apply that to quite a few of these Arsenal players. But she's been really tough to handle this afternoon, showing some fantastic touches and skill to get away from her markers.
You know, Caitlin Ford taking that left-hand side role, and which does, for Katie McCabe playing on the right, allow her to cut in and, in effect, shoot from central area, which should be more dangerous. Just she's not, Katie McCabe, how much possession to be able to do that. She had a chance, didn't she, at the end of the first half. Not much other than that.
Cuthbert delivers. Just over the head of Kerr. No changes coming for Arsenal. Victoria Pullover getting ready to come on.
Coming off the field number 7, Steph Catley.
Steph Catley making way.
And she is being replaced by number 21, Victoria Pullover.
Yeah, so Kate McCabe will go left and Pullover on the right. Prefer that, both players in a more natural position. Katie McCabe at left back and not hesitate to bomb forward and join in.
Valti down. The referee tried to play the advantage. That definitely was a foul, and some of the Arsenal coaching staff were not happy about that at all.
Valti visibly limping now. Whether it's that last contact with Cuthbert or heavy strapping we see on the right leg. Certainly didn't help.
She's so pivotal to how Arsenal play. Two-footed. Zadeval, hope she can shake that one off. Here's Raffaelli. Marnham again. Intelligent play. Here's Ford. With two very close by, she's done well to win a corner.
Yeah, and it was excellent build-up, as you mentioned. Raffaelli in possession of the ball, finds that real precise pass to get to Frida Marnham. Again, it got between the lines in the midfield and the defensive lines of Chelsea. Got the ball spinned, laid the ball in for Caitlin Ford, who's been a persistent pest down this left.
Here comes the corner. Raffaelli makes good contact. And wide from Pullover. She is the target from those set-piece situations. So good in the air.
Yeah, and in the first half they didn't find her once, did they? Excellent header on target. Good shielding from Millie Bright. Didn't have the power or the exact direction, but it was certainly on target.
Still 20 minutes to go.
Arsenal could, should, however you wish to phrase it, have a couple of goals against Chelsea, the chances they've had.
Kerr receives over the top. The flag is up.
Yeah, just marginal. Just went a little bit too early, Sam Kerr. As I was saying, that Arsenal should have had a couple of goals, you would think. She looks onside there, doesn't she? Katie McCabe looking like she's playing onside.
I think she agrees with you. Change for Chelsea. Jess Carter coming on for Perisset.
Caitlin Ford has terrorised Perisset for long enough. That's where Arsenal have looked the most dangerous, isn't it, down that left-hand side, and so Jess Carter there to deal with the speed and tenacity of Caitlin Ford. Versatile player, Jess Carter, played right back, left back, centre half, played in a 3, played in a 4.
1v1. There's few better than her. Ford. Falls back to Raffaelli. Slid out of play. It's picked up here. McCabe, and then good challenge from Millie Bright.
Yeah, excellent, strong, fast Millie Bright coming across, reading the situation well. 1-2 from Katie McCabe's Caitlin Ford. Would have been dangerous. That's what Lauren James and Chelsea need to do now for this remaining 20 minutes. Be clever in possession, work hard out of possession, tight, no mistakes. Because if Arsenal get a goal that they'd feel that they'd justified, then, you know, that will lift their confidence.
Great run by Raffaelli, Pelova, Wienreuter. Good build-up. Again, the end product lacking.
Another opening for Arsenal. I'm sure. Oh, just needs to go across the goalkeeper, didn't she? Didn't. Wienreuter straight at Berger, gets a positioning spot on Berger. It's a relatively simple one for her. Chelsea clever, shielding Marnham now. Sophie Ingle's looking for where she is because she's the one who's got on the ball, Marnham. Ingle looking to intercept that. Going through to her.
Lots more football to come this week on the BBC. The Men's FA Cup to start with in midweek. Fulham against Leeds in the 5th round, Tuesday at 7:30 on BBC One. And then on Sunday, a double bill for you. First, the WSL leaders Manchester United up against bottom side Leicester, 12:15 on BBC Two. And then Arsenal against Chelsea, again in the Women's League Cup final, next Sunday, 2:30 on BBC One. Expect there will be spectators at Selhurst Park as well. And you pick up a winner's medal in the civvies. Probably not a good idea to get the kit on when you've got your leg in a
Who would do
plaster.
that? Jump on the bandwagon.
I'm aware of where we are, so I'm not saying anything. Still a quarter of an hour to go. Arsenal have continued to create half chances. When they've got into positions, they haven't really stretched out Katrin Berger.
No, and they should have done. First half, they had multiple chances, 4 chances. I think it was Wienreuter, the latest of chances, just a few minutes ago down the right-hand side. You know, an uncontested strike. Just didn't have the quality to test Berger.
Marnham, again, I think that was the right option, perhaps.
It's going to have to be a worldie to beat Katrin Berger from there. And Marnham's, what, 25 yards out, more, 28 yards. Could she have taken another touch, got a little bit closer? I mean, Arsenal currently got to take a lot of heart from the chances they have created, from the opportunities they've created. But they've looked blunt up top.
Here's McCabe to Ford against Jess Carter. She manages to pop it off to Marnham, but pass towards Blackstenius, and that had to be precise, and it wasn't.
Final third quality has been poor from Arsenal, whether that be finishing, whether it be finding your partner. It needs that deft touch, that real craft and precision in angle, in weight, in trajectory. Arsenal have just been found wanting.
Pullover trying to get away from Aaron Cuthbert. Perfect challenge. It's won back well though by Kim Little. Marnham digs out the cross. Again, the flag is up.
Ball has gone out of play, hasn't it? There's nothing wrong with the attempt at heading it at the back post from Blackstenius. Put her arms down, a valid attempt, and it's the last throw of the dice for Leona Seideval. Triple substitution.
Cool, Maritz and Wibbenmoy getting ready. Ford. Down the line for Ford. Just behind Little. Really Bright was, well, stuck to Kim Little, but the referee was happy with that.
It's a level of intensity that Emma Hayes will have wanted from her defenders after that lacklustre first half performance, which allowed Arsenal in. 80th minute now, and Millie Bright is not like giving her an inch.
Marnham with another long ranger. Slightly better, but again, fielded pretty easily by Ann-Katrin Berger.
Better pressure on the ball from Chelsea, pressing them higher up. And that one's another one that's gratefully received by Ann-Katrin Berger.
Caught by Cuthbert. And here come the changes for Arsenal. Catherine Cool.
Number 25,
Stina Blackstenius. Been very quiet in the second half.
And also coming off the field, number 26,
Noel Maritz.
Replaced by number 16, Noel Maritz.
On for Laura Wienreuter. And Leah Valti
And
on
also
for Lotte Wibbenmoy.
Leah Valti to be replaced by number 3, Lotte Wibbenmoy.
Possibly want to give Valti in particular as much rest as possible. You know, it is only 10 minutes to go. Marnham delivers towards Wibbenmoy. Again, Millie Bright's there first. How many times do we say that? Copy and paste. Slips it through for Pelova. Ford. Another effort, but another pretty tame one. Starting to rack up the shots, and the shots on target, but actually practice really for Berger. Chelsea just starting to let Arsenal in a little bit, though. Marden. It's Robin Lloyd. Williamson.
Substitution for Chelsea coming off the field, number 10, Lauren James.
Changes for Chelsea, and the biggest cheer of all, Lauren James getting a standing ovation as she makes way. And Jelena Jankovic also coming off. Johanna Reeting-Kaneryd on for the final throws of this, as well as Jessie Fleming, another player who's racked up the air miles.
Chelsea's depth of squad is unreal nowadays, isn't it? I remember Emma Hayes addressing that in her early forays with Champions League football and recognising that come this side of Christmas, that is what you need. You need internationals coming on off the bench for internationals. And we look at that 10 position, one example, Frank Kirby, Jessie Fleming, Jankovic, all internationals, all, you know, arguably their best players for each of their respective national teams. She's got the same across the whole pitch.
Charles manages to find Fleming, now Wrighton. Minutes remaining. Rachel Brown, finish your Vitality Player of the Match.
I've been really impressed with in and out of possession, playing in that coveted 10 role. Position can be taken off her at any time, but today she's done a fantastic job. Jelena Jankovic is my Player of the Match for today. I get Pernilla Harder's in the mix for that position as well. For the Serbian international, it's been excellent. She's hustled Arsenal players out of possession. She's been the first point of attack for Chelsea too.
Set up the second goal, and Pernilla Harder also in the squad, as well as Frank Kirby. So they've suffered a couple of big losses as well, just they could absorb them perhaps slightly better, Chelsea.
Yeah, it's precisely that. Thankfully, touch wood, Sam Kerr has remained fit and available, however many millions of air miles she's racked up.
On to Caitlin Ford. Now McCabe. Can Arsenal set up a nervous finish for Chelsea? Williamson, another easy one for Katrin Berger. Got a couple, the Arnold Clark Cup.
Yeah, I mean, she's ever growing in confidence, and talk about composure. Leah Williamson has got that in bucket loads, playing in that midfield position now. Gordon Moy came on, taking the position of Valti, and she can do that for club and for country. She assured in that holding midfield position. Unfortunately, that's what Arsenal kind of got players coming off the bench and playing out of position to fill gaps because of injuries, whereas Chelsea have got themselves in a position, because it's not a luxury, it's a well-planned strategy. It's that Emma Hayes has implemented over time and over years and over transfer windows to have top quality players, multiples in each position. A blueprint that this man would absolutely love to be able to follow.
Still a chance for silverware, in fact, in 7 days' time. Women's League Cup final live on the BBC for you next Sunday. From the home of Crystal Palace.
Sounds really harsh to say this out loud, but when you're coming into this game as Arsenal and fighting on all four fronts, and suddenly how in the back at the end of the season those one by one clipped away 3 fronts on 2 fronts, and I hope, because Arsenal have made an excellent start to this season, it doesn't happen, but decimated somewhat by injury.
Well, they tried that bid for Russo for Manchester United on deadline day, a record fee it would have been. I think that was ambitious. I think it would have been, well, absolutely incredible had Manchester United sanctioned that. And they do lead the WSL. Chelsea, though, 2 points behind with a game in hand. Set to be another really exciting finish to the league season.
Manchester City are steaming up from behind. Great form under Gareth Taylor.
Okay, finds Little, promising. Good save by Berger, forced to turn it aside. At least Little works the Chelsea goalkeeper. Still could be something here. Pelova. Away by Eriksson. McCabe. Away by Eriksson. Williamson. Shouldered over by Sam Kerr.
Yeah, a little reckless from Sam Kerr, but clever from Williamson, recognising where the ball was, where Sam Kerr was, knowing that she could earn herself and her team a really advantageous position. You can see that Chelsea took a real pride in not conceding in the second half. The way that they defended has just been that extra 10% sharper. Millie Bright putting tackles in, winning headers first and second times. There's been a real edge to their defending this second half.
5 minutes of stoppage time. If this does go in, could make the final few minutes of this FA Cup tie very interesting.
Kate McCabe territory, isn't it?
It's Marnham. It's over the bar. And with that, probably goes the hopes of Arsenal's progression in the FA Cup.
Be very confident, a right footer for that, because it's all set up for a left footer. Opens up that side of the goal for a left footer. Going up and down over the wall from that distance was really a big ask.
I don't think it's been one of her tougher afternoons, Anne-Katrin Berger, but into the final 3 of the FIFA Best Awards, along with Mary Earps, Christian Endler of Chile. Some good company.
Yeah, they didn't have that award in my days. But you say Katrin Berger's not had anything to do this game particularly, but she has. First minute of the game, she made an excellent save. First minute of the second half, she made an excellent save. She made a double save in the first half. Yes, albeit, you know, spillage of one and then the reaction to make a big save. She's certainly been needed to be switched on. And, you know, that's part of being a world-class goalkeeper, is in games where there's not that many things going on. When you're ready, you're called upon, you've not switched off.
She really has that presence, and I wouldn't be surprised if that comes down to some of the less composed of Arsenal's forwards. When you bearing down on goal and you see her, she just it's almost a sort of mental block. And we must mention this is also during a season in which she's had to battle with the reoccurrence of thyroid cancer. A remarkable story to perform at this level and have to cope with the physical and mental aspects of that as well.
Absolutely right. I can't think of any other sort of it's unprecedented. Whilst the season's going on, you're still pretty much training, but you've got this huge sidetrack of distraction going on. You have to put energy into fighting as well. You know, she's very quiet and unassuming off the pitch. On the pitch, a huge presence and character.
Maritz pulls back Wrighton, and it's a card for Noel Maritz. That might be something that Jonas Eidevall will mention, the Niamh Charles non-double yellow card incident in the first half. That was certainly a yellow, not dissimilar to Charles's pullback on Ford in the first half, but ultimately Arsenal just haven't taken the chances when they've dropped for them. Final minutes of stoppage time and a final chance perhaps for Chelsea to add to the scoreline. Wrighton. Swing and a miss from Sam Kerr.
Do you know, it was a great ball in, wasn't it? Was it not Niamh Charles at the near post who completely missed? See this right across the front defender, Niamh Charles, who just doesn't make the contact on it. But lovely power, lovely whip on that ball from Guru Wrighton. I know she's capable of that. Should have been 3.
Over. Marnham gathered well by Berger at the near post. They just can't get past her. Yes, another clean sheet for the German international.
Yeah, she's respected all the basics. Sometimes we call that in goalkeeping, you know, the ones that straight down your throat, watching them, feeling them in, securing them, respecting every single shot. She's done all of those absolutely brilliantly, textbook. She's got a clean sheet.
The holders through, and they've knocked out the side that have won the FA Cup a record amount of times. Chelsea through to the quarter-finals, again asserting their dominance, their control in the English domestic game. Sophie Ingle in the first half, Sam Kerr in the second on her 100th appearance in a Chelsea shirt. The two will meet again next weekend in the final of the Continental Cup. But Chelsea still fighting on all 4 fronts. 3 domestically, and of course in Europe in the Champions League. Full time at Kingsmeadow. It is Chelsea who progress to the quarter-finals. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 0.